Hello everybody, hope you guys are having a good week. It is Wednesday, the 29th of April. Today we are moving on to our next lesson in Module 13, and our objective for today is now to find the volume of a sphere. So we're continuing our progress through all of these different three-dimensional shapes with our study in volume. Today we are finding the volume of a sphere. This is going to be another example today of where I'm going to give you a formula, and all you got to do is plug in just a couple of pieces of information into the formula, plug it into a calculator, and it gives you the answer. Okay, so make sure you have your notes handy so you can write down this formula, and then also make sure you have Desmos open or a handheld calculator handy so that you can plug these in. Okay, so we're finding the volume of a sphere today. Okay, so that formula I'm going to have you write down is going to be this one right here. Okay, the volume V, so V stands for volume. The volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi times the cube of the radius r. So we're not squaring the radius anymore for this one. For this one, we're cubing it. So we're doing r times r times r now. And again, remember the r is the radius. So like in this sphere right here, it gives us the radius. Okay. What's it called if the line goes all the way across, though? If it's all the way across, it's the diameter. We don't want the diameter. Remember, if it gives us the diameter and we're trying to find the radius, you just take the diameter and you divide it by 2. Okay? So this, what it has, that's the radius. That's halfway across. If it's all the way across, it's the diameter. All right, first example says find the volume of each sphere. Round your answers to the nearest tenth if necessary. Use 3.14 for pi. So again, we're going to plug in what we know. We've got volume equals, I'm going to do 4/3. Pi, again, for pi, we're going to do 3.14. Don't do the pi symbol. Plug in 3.14 for this. Okay, because that's what it says to do in the instructions. Then it's times r cubed. So it's going to be, so our radius here is 2.1. This is halfway across, that's our radius. So it's going to be times 2.1 times 2.1 times 2.1. Okay, this right here, that's 2.1 cubed. It's 2.1 times 2.1 times 2.1. Okay. Now we go over to our calculator and we plug in what we have. So it's going to be 4/3 times 3.14 times 2.1 times 2.1 times 2.1. And we get 38.77272. And it does say round your answers to the nearest tenth. Okay, this right here is what we want to round it to. That's the 10th spot. Okay, so we look to the number to the right. The number to the right of the 7 is another 7. That 7 makes that 7 round up, so it's going to be 38.8. Now we got to look at our label. Our label is going to be centimeters, and it's going to be cubed since it's volume. So 38.8 cubic centimeters. All right, next example says find the volume of each sphere. Round your answers to the nearest tenth if necessary. So again, this one's a little bit different. See if you can see by looking at this sphere what's different about this one from the last example. Well, if you notice, this one, it doesn't give the radius, does it? Remember, we want the radius cubed. This one doesn't give the radius. This one gives the diameter. So what do we have to do to the diameter to find the radius? Well, we just divide it by 2. So we got to take 7 divided by 2, which gives us a radius of 3.5. So we're going to take volume equals 4/3 times pi, which is 3.14, times our radius cubed, 3.5 cubed. So you can do 3.5 times 3.5 times 3.5. Okay, let's go to our calculator now. Again, I'm just going to edit what I have up in this first one. So I've got 4/3 times 3.14, and I'm going to change each of these to 3.5 Okay, and then times 3.5 times 3.5. And we get 179.503. Okay, again, we want to round to the nearest tenth, so it's going to be 179.5. Okay, and then look at our label. We're dealing with centimeters here, so it's going to be centimeters cubed. Okay. All right, what I want you to do here is I want you to try these on your own. So it says find the volume of each sphere, round your answers to the nearest tenth, and use 3.14 for pi. The first one gives you a radius. The second one gives you a diameter. So see if you can figure these out on your own. Work these out on your own paper. Pause the video and see how you do. All right, so hopefully you paused the video. If you haven't, pause it now. Okay, let me write down our formula. Volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so if we have a radius of 10, I'm just going to plug 10 in for r here, and I'll plug 3.14 in for pi. So let's go back over to our calculator. We've got 4/3, we've got 3.14. We're going to change our radius now to 10, so it's going to be 10 times 10 times 10. And you can see we get 4,186.6, but after the 6 is another 6, so that rounds it up to a 7. So it's going to be 4,186.7. Okay, our label then is centimeters cubed. Okay, number 3, a diameter of 3.4 meters. Again, if it has a diameter, we got to divide that by 2 to get the radius, which means our radius is 3.4 divided by 2, which is 1.7 meters. And now we plug it in. Instead of 10 though for our radius, we're going to plug in 1.7. So let's go back to our calculator over here. We're going to change each of our radius numbers to 1.7 times 1.7 times 1.7. And we get 20.56. The 6 is going to round the 5 up, so it's going to be 20.6. And then our label is going to be meters cubed. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop there. Okay, your assignment is on your HRW. It's the 13.3 homework. You can go ahead and get started on there. If you have any questions on it, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to answer it. If you have any questions over your grades or anything like that, feel free to email me at any time. Okay, have a good day. We'll see you guys on Friday.